Hey, what's going on, everyone? Isaiah Henry, First Position Real Estate. We had on Mitchell Thompson today on our IG Live. Great episode. He's a new realtor servicing the eastern region of Ontario. He's also a fellow gym addict like me, so that was a lot of fun talking to him. He shares some great insights onto how he adds value for his buyer and seller clients, as well as some stuff he's doing online, social media wise as well. It's a great episode. Check it out. And as always, it's Isaiah Henry, First Position Real Estate. Be sure to like this video and hit that subscribe. Lots of content coming soon.
Hey, Mitch, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Henry, not too much. Just working away, taking a bit of a break. How are you doing?
Good, man. Good, man. Hey, it's 5:02, so you owe us 10 push-ups. That was the rule. Every minute late, 10 push-ups.
I hit join at on the Google meeting in the invite, but it didn't take me to this.
Oh, no, sorry. No. That was just the invite there. Yeah, you just jump on Instagram. We do it all on IG.
Oh, got you. I was wondering. I didn't know if it came by invite or what.
All good, man. Hey, all good. You're here. That's all that matters here. Quick intro. Isaiah Henry, First Position Real Estate. I help government employees build wealth and retire early with real estate. We have on Mitchell today, a newer real estate agent there. Going to a whole lot of knowledge for that here. And Mitch, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure. It's cool to get
Awesome.
on, do a little networking.
There you go. You got to love it. Now, you're with our neighborhood realty, correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. So why don't you give us like a 30-second overhead, what you're doing in real estate, what you're doing with your business. I'd love to hear.
For sure, man. So I'm trying to break into the Kingston market more so right now. Moved here recently in the last few months. But yeah, with our neighborhood realty, which is great brokerage, I'd recommend. I know one of the questions is about being a new agent and what like tips for them and whatnot. So it's a great brokerage. And the goal is just trying like with the real estate, what I'm doing lately is trying to get as many listings as possible. That's the key to it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Love that. Yeah. I got 3 questions for you. If it's cool with you, I'll rock join them, and then we can kind of go from there.
Absolutely, my friend.
Awesome, boss. First question here. So as a new real estate agent, everyone's always dying. Like, what are some new tips? What are some new strategies? How can you help a new real estate agent be successful?
Biggest thing is networking. I think a new realtor, not being afraid to get out there and meet new people, go to different events, or even any way you can meet and talk to people about what you're trying to do and how you can help them and add value. That's the biggest factor. Being a part of a good brokerage is huge too. Like you as the agent in real estate bring money and value to the brokerage. So it's not as if it's hard to get hired onto a brokerage. You got to see what they can do for you. So that's a big factor. And yeah.
So in terms, you mentioned value. So like, I feel like that word gets thrown around. So in terms of like actually adding value to your clients, whether it's a buyer or a seller, what are some of the things that you do specifically to add value as an agent?
Oh, that's a pretty good question. I like it. So one of the things that I like to do is the virtual tours and try to make it more personal so I can send those out and whatnot. Because if people are in Toronto and want to see a house kind of out in the country where I was working, where I've had a lot of my listings, it's huge for them to be able to get a full virtual walkthrough before deciding to actually come out, check out the property. And that's a big factor. So that's one of the things I like to do to add value, as well as I'm doing deals in terms of commissions, especially when the market's really hot and things sell quicker.
Yeah.
I like to give deals to my clients and help them out that way as well.
Good stuff. And I love how you you refer to them as like your clients. Like I feel like you take ownership with them. They're on the team. You guys are going through it all together. And I love that because some people just say like, buyers and sellers, which sounds very generic, but just the way that you talk about the people you work with right off the hop, I've already got that from you. So, that makes me feel really good as whether I'm a buyer or seller client for you, just knowing, hey, like once you're on the team, you're on the team, which is really nice.
Yes, sir.
100%. And you're getting tons of great love in the comments right there. So good for you. That's awesome. I wanted to maybe switch gears a little bit here. So tell me a little bit about your YouTube channel. What's going on there, and what are your goals with the YouTube content?
So with my YouTube channel, the idea is the more virtual tours I can make and put onto that channel, even if it's not my listings, I've done it for other realtors in my brokerage, to try to bring in buyers and get as much exposure as possible to help the sellers get top dollar for their home, which is always the goal.
Good stuff. So with these virtual tours, is it like obviously for your listings, it's going to help showcase that, get buyers in the door. But when you go to other people, is that again like a value add play for another realtor, or is it more just a beef up content on the channel?
It's both. So hopefully I can bring the buyer for the other realtor, especially if they're my brokerage and it's a good listing. And then I can help find a buyer if they come across the video one way or another and they reach out wanting to see it. So hopefully bring it, get the place sold. And then, yeah, as much beef up the channel, like to get more content out there is key. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really sweet. So why don't we just take a quick step back? So you mentioned these virtual walkthroughs. I'd love to just dive in. So what do you really do? Is it just like, you grab your iPhone, take a couple pictures of the rooms and throw it on YouTube, or is it something a little bit more in depth, I assume?
It's more, well, I like to think it's more in depth. I usually have like a cameraman, or even if it's just a tripod, depending how far the listing is, if I can get one of my friends to do it, or if it's a far listing, I'll do it on the tripod. I'll actually stand in front of the camera and do it as a virtual walkthrough, talk about the selling features, what makes the house, like what are some of the best features of it, and then point out different things, as opposed to just and actually talk about the area. And that way people can get a good idea of the property itself and the different things. It feels like they're on a bit of a tour.
Awesome. Yeah. So I like that you take that personal approach, and I feel these are the things, like you mentioned value early, these are the things that you're doing behind the scenes. And it's not like you're like, oh, I don't want to tell people what I'm doing, but me just as, a third party, I can see, I know a lot of realtors aren't doing this, especially for their clients or anyone. You're bringing tripods, you're going far listings, and you're really trying to give that personal approach, even if you can't actually be there in person. How have you felt that attitude translate with your clients?
I appreciate that. It's good, especially if it's a new buyer and they've seen the video already or something like that. It seems like when they get me, they're like, oh, hey, like when they get there to see it in person, they're like, hey, Mitch, and they seem like they already know me. I feel like it builds a bit of rapport even before meeting them, which is nice. And then, even with other agents, like when they call to be like, if they're bringing an offer or something like that, they'll be like, oh yeah, I saw the video, and they talk about specific features of from the video of the property that they liked as well. They were like, oh yeah, I like the pellet wood stove or something specific like that.
That's awesome. And I think, and again, I don't think you're reinventing the wheel, but I think you're doing it with your own flair and, being able to kind of define yourself as a realtor. Because I'm not going to lie, I knew you were at our neighborhood realty, but then I started watching the stuff you're putting out. I was like, wow, this guy's really doing it. Anyone can do a virtual tour, but the way you do it, the way you put your spin on it for your clients and other people you work with, it's 2 thumbs up for me. So I love it, man.
I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. Last question I got for you here. All right. So we know the market's changing, interest rates, government intervention, all that good stuff. What are you doing to help your buyer and seller clients to be better prepared in this market?
Man, that's a good question, because it's tough, and no one knows how much the interest rates are going to keep growing. Yeah. But most recently I had a listing there, and they were pretty concerned about and the best thing I could do for them, because it's hard when the interest rate goes up again, and they already knew that was a bit of an issue. I took some statistics from the QDAR. I'm a part of the Quinte Real Estate Board. So I took statistics from there of the recent price decreases to show them that this isn't exclusive to their property. This is a problem everyone's facing across the board. So then when they see that, it makes them feel a little bit better. For buyers, it's a good opportunity, because there are some better deals coming on the market right now, and things are sitting longer. So it's you don't have to go in firm anymore without a home inspection. Now you can add a home inspection again and maybe even negotiate price down a good way. So
I love that, man. Every time you, sorry, go ahead, man.
No, I was just saying it's an interesting market that changed pretty quickly in the last 3-4 months.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. If you again, I'm more from the investor side of things, so I'm running my numbers, and sometimes you see the interest, we're at 6-7%. Sometimes just for fun, I just run my numbers at 1.5, like it was a couple months ago. I'm like, wow, what a time! What a time!
It's wild, the difference it makes.
I'm telling you, man. It's telling you. But one thing I wanted to just grab before we left, you mentioned value, and I'm seeing all the things you're doing. So you're educating your clients on new markets. You're giving them interesting ways to see the property, interact with the property, and you're just putting yourself out there as a team member, not someone, hey, I work for you, you pay me. It's hey, we're on this journey together as a team as we go either buy or sell a property. How did you come up with all this? Was this all you, or how are you growing this brand? I love it.
Man, I appreciate it. You're making me sound too good here.
No, man, it's all you. It's all you.
A lot of just watching YouTube videos, and from the brokerage. That's a big part with my brokerage too. Our neighborhood realty is a lot of training and whatnot. Just when you're talking with people in general, but also on YouTube. And it's just, even sales books and stuff. It's all about trying to add value first before trying to be okay, I want you to pay me this amount or whatever. So.
Yeah, that's good. Because another thing I noticed, like you haven't once mentioned price. Like I'm everyone's pretty sure about the commissions you get, but I haven't seen that come up in your talk path, which is great. I'm sure you are getting paid. That's not what I'm saying, but I love that you're leading with value across the board. You're educating, you're being good with the visuals, you're just adding value to them. So that's amazing. I love it there. Just as we wrap up, is there anything else you wanted to add or you wanted to ask before we kind of get out of here today?
I was curious what you guys do over there at First Position Realty.
100%. We help government employees build wealth and retire early through real estate. So what we do, we go after homes where there's potential to add value. We like anything from single to small multifamily, and we invest primarily in Northern Ontario. We help our investment partners get attractive returns, and we also help stabilize the community as well. So it's kind of a two-prong approach. And then we also have some community initiatives around the company that help really grow and solidify the brand.
That's awesome. It sounds like an interesting niche too, like just the government workers. Do you guys
Yeah.
do,
Oh, yeah.
does it expand? Is it so like exclusively government workers or do you have other clients too?
No, I'll never turn anyone down if they fit the investor mold. The reason why it is government employees is because that's kind of how I started. Like my first job ever was like at the city pool. Then I went on to do some law enforcement, like at the municipal, provincial level, and then I work for the province right now. So I've always known the government employee lifestyle, and I just get it. So that when I'm going out there, we're raising money, we're working on deals together. There's already that synergy. Now, don't get me wrong, I've worked with people who aren't government employees, but it lays a good basis to kind of build a talk path and then get those investors involved if they choose to.
That makes sense. Very nice. And do you guys do buying and selling? Like, do you have your real estate license?
So I do have my license. It's not active right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was causing me a lot more grief than anything. Just like,
yeah, it's
not that it's difficult, but like it's almost two separate businesses, right? Like you have your investment business, you have your realtor business. And again, I know a lot of people who do them successfully, but you know, I got to get away from my shiny object syndrome. So we're gonna go with just the investment business, be able to service those clients and investors a little bit better. And then, hey, who knows? Maybe I'll kick it back up. Maybe you can teach me a thing or two.
Hey, always down to network.
Love it, man. Love it. Just as we finish up here, Mitch, why don't you tell people where they can get a hold of you and where you're doing most of your business?
Awesome. So from Marmora, where I grew up, my small town of Marmora, down south to like the Belleville area, and then all the way out here east to Kingston, and out west I'd go to as well, Peterborough area. That's kind of the areas I know best. Instagram is the best place to get a hold of me. Real Estate by Mitchell Thompson. And yeah.
Good stuff, man. Well, I'll make sure I put all your info in the description there. We'll throw it on YouTube so you can add that to your channel as well. So just as we sum up here, it's Isaiah Henry, First Position Real Estate. As always, I help government employees build wealth and retire early with real estate. We had on Big Boy Mitch today. Oh, by the way, you're trying to get to 315. You're going to have to come over to the garage gym so we can get a lift in. We'd love to see those numbers go up.
I'm down for it, man. Whereabouts are you from?
I'm in Durham, like Whitby area.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's next time I'm there for an office meeting, I'll swing in and we'll get a work.
Love it, man. I'll warm it up. Got the heater going. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. Well, Mitch, thank you so much for joining us there. I'll make sure to tag everything in the show notes. And from First Position Real Estate, it's Isaiah Henry signing off. Have a good one, Mitch.
Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Cheers, brother.
See you, buddy.